Hey, what's going on internet? Josh Noel from SonduckFilm. Today we have a requested tutorial and a tutorial that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So basically we'll be creating like the Star Trek Beyond title sequence, which looks like this. Okay, so that's what they created, and here's what I came up with. Without the sound, of course. So it's pretty close. The color's not exact, but everything else, I mean, is pretty much very close to the same exact thing. So basically, the only plugin you will need to follow along with this tutorial is optical flares. Everything else is really just created in After Effects, and we're using some stock particles. We will be jumping into Cinema 4D because the text is 3D, but you can use Element 3D or any other software that allows you to create 3D text. So you can download this project in the video description below, but let's go ahead and just get started with this. So let's go ahead and create a new composition, and I'll call it Tut Main, and click OK. And then let's go ahead and create ourselves like just a background for now and make it black, and then click OK. And then let's go ahead and create another solid by going to Layer, New, Solid, and we'll call this one Noise. So we're going to create our atmospherical like fog or smoke that was in the. So let's go to Effect, Noise, Fractal Noise, and then let's go ahead and jump up the contrast to maybe like 230-ish, and then maybe touch up the brightness just by a little bit. And then where it says Overflow, allow for HDR results, drop that down and click on Soft Clamp. And then let's go to the transform settings and let's scale this way up. Okay, that should be fine. And then let's go to the tools over here and let's select the ellipse tool and let's double click it right up here. And we'll got this ellipse mask, and then let's hit F on our keyboard to bring up the mask feather options, and let's feather this out. Okay, so maybe we'll scale this up just by a little bit as well so we can kind of fill in those corners as well. So let's go ahead and create some text. So let's go to the text title tool and let's click in the middle here and let's type in Beyond or whatever text you want to type in. And let's go ahead and select all this text and let's go ahead and stretch it out a little bit by going to the tracking and raising that up a little bit because it has some separation in their font. And then let's go to the vertical scale and let's raise that up just by a little bit so we can kind of customize this font to make it look like how they did it. And then let's go ahead and go to the Align tool and let's go ahead and center this in the middle of our comp. And there we have it, and maybe we'll go ahead and raise it up a little bit more, scale it up, and let's center it again. And that's pretty close, probably not exact, but for the sake of the tutorial, let's go ahead and assume that's correct. And let's go create our other title, which should be Star Trek. And let's scale that down. And let's go ahead and bring it to the top over here, and let's start customizing this a little bit. So maybe what we'll do is go ahead and maybe lower the scale on it a little bit, the vertical scale, maybe set it to like 54%, 55%, and then scale that up a little bit, or the horizontal scale, and maybe 61%, and then let's go ahead and stretch it out, the tracking, and sorry guys. And then let's go ahead and align this right in the middle. Oh, not like that. We want this to hover right over our text. And that's pretty good. It might be just a little bit small, so let's go ahead and maybe just scale it up just by a little bit. Okay. And should be pretty close. It's probably not 100% exact, but like I said, let's just continue and push forward. So the next thing we got to do is create some flares. So let's go ahead and create a new solid, and we'll call this, I don't know, middle flare, because they have like a big white ball in the middle. So let's go ahead and create that right now and click OK, and let's go to Effect, Video Copilot, Optical Flares. So let's go ahead and click on Options and let's clear all, click yes, and let's go to Lens Objects and let's create 3 glows, and let's set this to white, and let's click OK. So we're trying to create like this gray sort of background, and click Add. Sorry, go to blend mode and click add, and then let's go ahead and center this right in the middle of our comp, right there. And then let's go ahead and put this underneath our noise layer. Underneath our noise layer, and let's set our noise layer to soft light. So let's go ahead and create our main reveal flare. So let's go ahead and create a new solid, and we'll call this one main reveal flare. And okay, and let's go to Effect, Video Copilot, Optical Flares, and click on Options. And then let's go to the Pro Presets 2 folder because I'm too lazy to make my own lens flare. And I'm going to click the Russian lens flare, and it doesn't really matter what type of lens flare you use. Just create, something cool. And I like this one. So click OK. And let's go ahead and set this to a add. And then let's go ahead and center this, maybe like right here, right beneath our text. And we might adjust this a little bit later. But for now, let's go ahead and click, let's go ahead and click the stopwatch for brightness. And we'll hit U on our keyboard to bring up the keyframes. And let's go ahead and maybe shorten this comp down a little bit. I have this really long, so maybe I'll close this up right here. Sorry, guys. All right. And then let's see. Let's set this first keyframe, let's say, to like right around 1 second. All right. And then let's go to the beginning here, the first frame, and let's really ramp this up. So maybe we'll start off like this. So around 440, I have my brightness, and then it'll kind of just come down just like that. And then let's maybe all the way throughout the entire animation, so maybe like to 5 seconds, we will just have it gradually just go down just by a little bit. Maybe we'll just type in 90. So we just have this very smooth fade out. Maybe we'll do 80. Doesn't really matter. And let's go ahead and make this middle keyframe an easy as keyframe by hitting F9 on our keyboard. So perfect. So let's go ahead and create the flare for our Star Trek layer, and let's go ahead and create a new solid, and we'll call this one Subtitle Flare Reveal. And okay, and once again, as always, Video Copilot, Optical Flares, and Options. And then let's going back to the Pro Presets 2, and I'm going to use a flare called Sub-Zero, because once again, I am super lazy, and I do not want to create my own lens flare. And then let's go ahead and click on Add. And let's go ahead and center this like right in the middle of the Star Trek text. And that should be all right. And then let's go ahead and animate this thing. So we'll say we want Star Trek text to come in at like, start off at 2 seconds and 12 frames. So, click the keyframe for the brightness. And let's go ahead and see. Let's just like have this start off really high. It'd be like 140. It's not that high, but whatever. And then let's move forward in time just by a little bit, maybe go all the way to, I don't know, 3 seconds and, whatever frames there. And we'll type in 0 on our keyboard. And we'll start this off maybe with the first keyframe being an easy as keyframe. And maybe we'll make both of these easy as keyframes. Yeah, that should be okay. All right, so that looks all pretty cool. Maybe what we'll do is we'll make our little bottom, our middle, our main lens flare reveal. We'll go ahead and make this like an orange sort of color. Start giving that like that tint that we needed to give it. So we still have a little bit to do, but let's go ahead and create some particles. And actually, let's not create some particles. Let's import some particles. So I have this particle pack from Video Copilot. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up real fast if I can find it on here. Video Copilot, have a lot of cool stuff from them. And let's see, Video Copilot, Particles HD. And they have these cool particles on here, these preset, more like stock footage particles on here. And it's a great pack. And anytime you don't have time to create particles or you're just trying to get something done quickly, this particle pack is actually amazing. And the best part about it, it is free. So if I remember, I will link you guys in the description of this video to download this particle pack. So I have the Particles 12 pack and the Particles 13 pack, and it doesn't really matter which one you use. I mean, just kind of pick something that works for you. And I bring them both into here, and they're not the frame size of this comp because they are only 720p. So what we'll do is go up to Layer, Transform, Fit to Comp. So let's go. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the Particles 13 and put it underneath the middle flare. And let's set both of these to be screen. So now we got some cool particles in here. And honestly, even without the text being 3D, it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and make this stuff 3D text layers. So what we'll do is select both these layers and make them 3D layers. If you do not see these options here, make sure to click toggle switches and modes, and you will toggle between the switches. And let's go here and let's pre-compose both of these layers. So what we'll do is go beyond, and we'll go up to layer, pre-compose, and we'll call this beyond text. and click OK. And then let's go to the Star Trek here, and let's pre-compose that as well. And we'll call this one Star Trek text. Click OK. And let's go ahead and open up Beyond here, and there's a transparent background. And then let's go up to File, Export, Maxon, Cinema 4D Exporter, and Extrude Text as Shapes. Click OK. And I'll ask you if you want to save. I'll call it Beyond Text, and I'll save. And please keep in mind that this option might not be available if you're not using the most up-to-date After Effects, which is 2015.3, and the update came out about less than a week ago before I uploaded this video, so please keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and go to the Star Trek text comp and do the same exact thing. File, Export, Maxon, Cinema 4D Exporter, click OK, and save. And then what we need to do is go to the Finder or your Windows, whatever it's called on PC, Windows Explorer, select both the layers that we just created, or the files that we just created, and bring them into After Effects. And let's go to our main composition here, and with say Beyond Text Layer Selected. Let's go up to the project here, and let's hold down Alt on our keyboard, and let's drag it in there to replace our composition. And as you see, we have 3D text. And once again, let's go back to the project folder. Project window, and let's click on Star Trek, and let's drag that right into there. Boom. Okay, so now this looks not so pretty. So we need to edit this text in Cinema 4D. So what we'll do is we will go to say start with Beyond, and what we'll do is it will hit Command E on our keyboard, or Control E on a PC, and that will open it up right in Cinema 4D. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start making this stuff pretty. So we'll go ahead and open up our null objects, which were created in After Effects. And let's go to this where it says Beyond, and let's duplicate that by copying and pasting, and let's just drag that right back in there. And what we'll do is select all of the individual letters here with the extrude NURBS, and let's go to caps, and let's create a fillet cap. All right, and maybe we'll make it just a little bit smaller, maybe it's 4 centimeters, and then go to the coordinates. Well, actually, let's select the null object here, and let's maybe move it back in Z space just by a little bit. Perfect. And then let's go ahead and create a new texture here, and let's just set it to like I don't know, like a light orange color. Click OK. And then let's just select all of our layers here, and then let's just go ahead and just drag it on there. And if we check out what we got, boom, that's what we have. And let's go ahead and go up to the light up here and create a new light. And let's see what we have now. And that doesn't look shabby at all. So let's go ahead and let's save this. Save the Cinema 4D file. And then let's go to After Effects. And it will update automatically in After Effects. And as you see, that looks a lot better. And let's go ahead and do that quickly for the Star Trek text. So in our project folder, let's go ahead and hit Command E on our keyboard. And we're going to do the exact same thing, obviously. So let's see. Let's go ahead and duplicate this and bring this back underneath there. And let's go to the object. Sorry, let's select all the extruded NURBS. And let's go to caps and fillet cap. And let's maybe make it like 2 centimeters. And go to the null object here. And let's bring that back in Z space just by a little bit. All right. And let's go ahead and make a new material. I'll just leave it white. Go ahead and drag our new material on all of our text here. And boom, there we go. And once again, let's create a new light. And that'll be okay. And now you see that looks pretty good. And once again, let's save this. And let's go back to After Effects. And that will update. And that looks really good. So let's go ahead and let's see. Let's go to the effects controls for just one of these layers. So we'll start with the Beyond text, and let's set it to standard final under renderer, and that will make things a little bit better. And let's set it to the comp camera under project settings, and then let's go to Star Trek text and do the same exact thing. Standard final camera, comp camera. All right, and then let's actually go ahead and create a new camera by going to Layer, New Camera. And we'll go ahead and click OK. And this something weird is going to happen once we do this. The text is going to fall up in the corner over here. And that's a quick fix. So what we'll do is go to the camera control tools. And let's go to the track XY. And let's just go ahead and bring the camera down a little bit to kind of center this text back up. And then let's go to the beginning here, and let's hit P on our keyboard for the camera here, and click the stopwatch for position. And let's go to the Track Z camera tool. And let me go ahead and turn off some of these flares, so like the reveal flare, so we see what we're doing. And let's see, let's maybe move this, make this a little bit bigger, so it's not as small as it is. Okay, and let's see, boom. Okay, and then let's go to the end of the animation here, and then let's go ahead and just continue to track this forward a little bit. So like push it in to make it a little bit bigger, as if it's coming at us. All right, and that should be good. And let's go ahead and enable motion blur for both these layers, so we don't forget to do that later. And let me turn my flare back on. All right, looking good. And let's see, the next thing we need to do is maybe animate the Star Trek title up here. So what we'll do is, obviously we've hit S on our keyboard to bring up scale. We can't do anything with that. So what we'll do is go to Effect, Distort, and click on Transform. And let's see, the text will come on about right. Where's our flare? Our reveal flare is going to come on right here. So we'll go ahead and let's cut our Star Trek text to come on right there. All right, and let's go to the scale position, or click the stopwatch for scale under the transform property. And let's hit U on our keyboard to bring up that keyframe, and let's bring that all the way to 5 seconds. Then let's go ahead and move our anchor point real fast to be like right over here, right in the middle. So move it up just a little bit, and then let's go ahead and position this back up into the space here. And then let's go ahead and put the scale to like 90. So it'll kind of scale right at us as it does in the actual movie trailer. So I have this gradient that's sort of blue-red, and let's go ahead and set that to overlay. Okay, and let's bring that below our Star Trek text. Okay, and let's go ahead and create a new adjustment layer by going to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and go to Effect, Color Correction, Lumetri Color, which is my new favorite color correction tool. And once again, you have to be with the most up-to-date version of After Effects to have this tool. And let's go ahead and go to the creative settings and jump up to vibrance. Okay, and then let's go to the color wheels, and let's set, let's say like the maybe the highlights to the blues, and maybe the midtones to the reds-ishes, and the shadows back to the blues. Okay, and then let's go to Effect, Color Correction, Curves, and let's kind of maybe darken this up by creating like a curve point down here. And let's go ahead and drag down this top point just by a little bit, because it's pure white right now, and their white was not pure white. So we'll go ahead and make that a sort of a gray sort of look. Okay, and then let's go ahead and create a vignette. So go to, well, let's create a new layer, and we'll call this one Vignette. Wow, that was a horrible typo. I have no, why do I have an R? And make it black, and click OK. Go to the ellipse tool, double click it, and set to subtract. And we'll hit F on our keyboard to bring up the feather, and feather the heck out of this thing. Maybe what we'll do is we'll go hit T on our keyboard to bring up the opacity, and let's lower this to maybe 50%. All right, and let's set this below our adjustment layer. And one of the last things we'll do to make these colors a little bit better is we'll go to our background here and go up to Effect, Generate Gradient Ramp. And let me solo this layer real fast. And let's go ahead and set the top here to like a dark blue gradient, and our white color to like a dark orange sort of look, and click OK. And let's go ahead and unsolo this. And that makes a huge difference. And our middle flare here is a little intense, so let me hit U on our keyboard, and let me go to the middle keyframe we have here, and let me actually set that to 80. So it's not as intense as it is, so we can see some more detail in our main text here. And let's go to the end here, and let's set that to like 60. So we just updated the first keyframe to 80 and then the last keyframe to 60, and this looks a lot better. And to add some more atmosphere to this, let's go ahead and duplicate our noise layer by going up to Edit, Duplicate, and let's hit MM on our keyboard to bring up our mask properties, and let's really set the mask expansion to like -200. All right, and that should add just a little bit more atmospherical elements, and that looks pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and make a quick change. I'm gonna go to the camera here and open up the camera position and go to the last keyframe over here, and let's go ahead and maybe set this to like -1800 because we need to make it scale out a little bit more than it was already doing. And then one more thing I want to do is go ahead and go to the beginning here, maybe like the first 12 frames, and then go to create a new adjustment layer, and then go to effects and go to blur, and we'll use the I guess the camera lens blur. And what we'll do is, let's say we'll go to like 1 second, click the stopwatch, hit U on our keyboard to bring up the keyframes, and let's go ahead and bring that to the beginning. And let's go ahead and set the blur radius to wait for this to come in to 0. So it'll kind of have a blur transition in it. Let's go ahead and hit F9 on our keyboard to make this last keyframe an easy S keyframe. And maybe we'll actually set the blur radius for the first keyframe to like 8. Just give that a try. And make sure to enable motion blur. So I just took a look and I forgot to fade on this subtitle reveal here for this with this flare. So let me go ahead and move forward in time to like maybe 2 seconds and 6 frames with the subtitle flare here. And let me set that to 0. And I forgot to do that. And let me also go to the middle keyframe here. Let me set that up to like 160 or something like that because it wasn't as intense before. And let's see what we got. And this is what we have created. And it looks pretty good. Maybe that's just a little bit too fast, but a quick tweak can fix all that. And this looks pretty good. So guys, if you have any questions, please drop a comment down below. Or if you have any requests for tutorials, please let me know. You can look me up on my social media networks, links in the description. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more awesome tutorials like this. And if this video has helped you, please drop me a like. It helps me out tremendously. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you soon.